Water constraints and North American industrial operations across North America. Water availability, quality standards, and regulatory expectations are tightening in ways that are starting to affect permit timelines, capital decisions, and where companies choose to grow. This is not a warning about what might happen. For many facilities teams, it is already happening. The compliance shift that snuck up on operations. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has been increasing enforcement activity around water quality for several years, particularly for industrial facilities operating under Clean Water Act permits. What has changed recently is the speed at which notices become penalties. The cushion that once existed between a compliance notice and a financial consequence has gotten much smaller. The American Society of Civil Engineers 2025 Infrastructure Report Card gave U.S. drinking water a C and wastewater infrastructure a D+, reflecting decades of underinvestment that are now creating real exposure for industrial facilities tied to aging municipal systems. The practical meaning of that grade: if your facility depends on shared water infrastructure, your compliance position is partly determined by conditions you do not control. Regulators have not shown much appetite for accepting that as a mitigating factor. Permit delays are becoming a capital planning problem. Permit delays tied to water quality issues are not new, but the downstream effects are harder to absorb than they used to be. Expansion projects that assumed 6-month permit windows are running into timelines that stretch well past a year in some regions. In certain parts of the Midwest and Southeast, permit applications are being denied outright until facilities can demonstrate upgraded treatment capacity. The pattern that is emerging is worth paying attention to. What looks like a permitting problem at first is often a water infrastructure problem underneath it. The fix is not procedural. It is a capital project, and it is one that many facilities did not have on their planning horizon 2 years ago. For facilities leaders, the first practical question is whether you have a clear and current picture of your facility's water discharge compliance status, not the annual summary that went into a report, the actual current status, including any agency correspondence that may not have made it to the operations team yet. Treatment upgrades have moved from best practice to baseline expectation. There has been a quiet but meaningful shift in how both regulators and insurers are approaching industrial water treatment. An upgrade that would have been considered a best practice a few years ago is increasingly treated as a baseline expectation, and in some sectors, a condition of continued operation. The pressure is coming from more than one direction. Facilities operating in water-stressed regions are finding that insurance underwriters are factoring water risk into coverage terms in ways they were not before. Some facilities have seen exclusions added to environmental policies tied specifically to water discharge or groundwater exposure. The 2024 analysis from the World Resources Institute, WRI, Aqueduct 4.0 confirms that more than 1/3 of North American industrial activity is located in areas currently experiencing moderate to high water stress. For those facilities, the conversation about treatment upgrades is not about sustainability positioning. It is about whether operations continue without interruption. What facilities leaders should be doing now. The teams that are best positioned going forward are treating water risk the same way they treat energy procurement. They are tracking it, modeling it, and building it into capital plans, rather than reacting to it when something goes wrong. That means a few things deserve attention. Permit renewal cycles should be on the radar well in advance. If a renewal is coming in the next 18 months, starting the process now is not early. Given current timelines, it may already be close to the line. Water treatment infrastructure should be audited not just for compliance purposes, but as a capital planning exercise. An upgrade that is needed in 2 years costs less to plan for now than to accelerate under pressure. The data tools available to facilities teams are also better than many teams realize. The EPA's ECHO database and WRI's Aqueduct platform both offer facility-level water risk data that can inform planning in concrete ways. If those resources are not part of your team's regular review, they should be. The bigger picture, water has become a real operational variable for North American industrial facilities, and the facilities teams that treat it that way will be in a materially better position than those still treating it as a background utility. The compliance environment is moving, the infrastructure gaps are real, and the permit timelines are already longer than most capital plans anticipated. The teams that recognize this shift early have time to respond thoughtfully. The ones that wait for a permit denial or an insurance exclusion to make water a priority will be responding under pressure instead. You've been listening to Sustainability Soundbites by Environment and Energy Leader. For partnership opportunities, please reach out to our team.